Well, a shameful and I think actually pretty cruel vote in Parliament yesterday. And it's not hard to see why so many Labour voters who, perhaps they were motivated just to kick the Tories out are now horrified by what they are seeing from Keir Starmer and this government. Before I get to yesterday's vote in Parliament though, just look at what's going on in terms of the economy, and you're seeing unbelievable double standards from the mainstream media, from the legacy media, when it comes to the absolute mess that Labour's budget is already making compared to the treatment that Liz Truss received. I mean, pretty much non-stop campaigning by some elements of the mainstream media to oust Liz Truss. Labour, of course, getting a much softer ride over the mess they have quickly made of things. And of course, that mainstream media system of mostly quite posh, middle-class lefties pretending to be neutral, and you can see from what they post on social media or columns that they write or interviews they do, because a lot of them just seem to want to be famous, that they quite obviously are lefties. With the exception of GB News, you see the barrage of anti-Musk, anti-Elon Musk coverage obsessing over language rather than the issue at hand, rather than the rape gangs, rather than the damage that was done, rather than the scandal that we have seen. And actually, for instance, we saw in one interview with LBC a grooming gang victim actually saying that Elon Musk has helped to amplify and gotten victims' voices heard. Meanwhile, we saw warnings from some elements of Labour that whipping their MPs to vote against a national inquiry would be a mistake they would come to regret. Sadly, you saw yesterday, shamefully, you saw 364 MPs vote against an independent national inquiry into the grooming gang scandal. One Rotherham survivor there, quoted by Charlie Peters of GB News, who is doing fantastic work. They said it's absolutely disgusting, all those MPs voting against it, that they're speechless and disgusted, and that it's appalling. But you see here the breakdown. 101 Conservatives voting for, 16 abstaining, 350 Labour voting against, 49 abstaining, all Lib Dem MPs abstaining, 5 Reform MPs, all 5 of them voting for, 2 Greens voting against, 2 abstaining. Now, you have to be a little bit careful in terms of those abstaining. For instance, one of those abstaining for the Tories was Suella Braverman, but she did explain that due to a long-standing and very important constituency engagement, she was paired and unable to vote on this, but she added her name to the amendment on the order paper to indicate support and would have voted in favour of it. But just look at the mess our country is in here. Unbelievable. The Rochdale grooming gang ringleader still living in the town almost a decade after he was released from jail and told he would be deported. And guess what? That's right. Lawyers arguing he is stateless, having renounced his Pakistani citizenship, and that deportation would breach his right to private and family life under the European Convention on Human Rights. No surprise, neighbours in Rochdale disgusted. Suella Braverman there, one of those pointing out at the ECHR, we need to get the hell out of it as quickly as possible. This status quo is not acceptable in any way whatsoever. But yeah, I think a pretty shameful state of affairs, a shameful vote in Parliament that is not just seen discussed widespread in this country, but across the world as well. As ever, guys, I will of course keep bringing you all the latest on this and much more, so please do whack this video a quick thumbs up, and of course, as ever, cheers for watching.